Envy is the enemy of peace, for it makes a man mourn his neighbor's blessings instead of celebrating his own. Seneca, you want to kill envy, but envy is not something you can simply cut out like a rotten piece of fruit. Envy is a symptom, a signal, a warning light, a reflection of a deeper disorder within you. You envy not because others have more, but because you believe you have less. You envy because you measure your worth by comparison. You envy because you have forgotten your own path. Envy only grows in a mind that has lost sight of itself. Modern life feeds envy like oxygen feeds a flame. You open your phone and instantly see people who seem richer, happier, more attractive, more successful, more connected, more confident, more stable, more everything. You see only their victories, never their failures, their polished image, never their doubts, their highlights, never their pain. And your mind is tricked into believing that you are falling behind while everyone else is soaring. You compare your internal struggle to someone else's external presentation, and of course you lose. Envy thrives on illusions, and social media is a factory of illusions. But the Stoics understood envy long before the internet. They warned, "You envy those you believe are succeeding in the areas where you feel insecure." Envy is not about them. It is about your wounds. If you envied someone's relationship, it is because you fear loneliness. If you envied their success, it is because you are unsure of your own path. If you envied their beauty, it is because you feel inadequate. If you envied their confidence, it is because you feel small. Every form of envy is a message. You must build yourself in this area. Envy is not your enemy, it is your mirror. But here is the brutal truth. Envy destroys you while doing nothing to the person you envy. It poisons your joy, blinds you to your blessings, makes you resent people who did nothing wrong, and forces you into a silent, self-inflicted war that only you can lose. Envy is the most self-destructive emotion because it punishes you for someone else's success. It makes you bleed for someone else's victory. It turns your mind into a battlefield where you are both the attacker and the victim. So how do you kill envy? Not by attacking others, not by pretending you don't feel it, not by suppressing it. You kill envy by understanding it and transforming the soil it grows in. The first step is radical honesty. Admit your envy without shame. Most people deny it because envy feels humiliating. But denial gives it power. What you hide controls you. What you expose weakens. Say it to yourself clearly. I envy them. Now you have something real to work with. The second step is to identify the wound beneath the envy. Ask yourself, what does this person represent that I feel I lack? Is it purpose, stability, beauty, recognition, discipline, freedom, love, security? The moment you name the void, envy loses half its strength. Because envy is never about the person. It is about the part of you that feels empty. The third step is to separate illusion from reality. You envy an image, not a life. You envy a curated moment, not a story. You see the fruit, but not the soil. You see the success, but not the sacrifices. You see the beauty, but not the insecurity. You see the money, but not the stress. You see the relationship, but not the fights. You see the progress, but not the years of stagnation. If you traded lives with the person you envy, you would quickly discover burdens you never saw. No one escapes suffering. Some simply hide it better. Envy exists because you believe others have something you cannot attain. But the moment you realize that every life holds both glory and struggle, envy becomes unnecessary. The fourth step is to shift your focus from comparison to competence. The Stoics believed that envy dies when effort begins. Envy lives in idle minds. People who watch more than they act, compare more than they build, complain more than they improve. The cure for envy is motion. When you are building your own life, you have no time to resent someone else's. When you are improving yourself, you have no energy left for jealousy. When you are focused on your path, other paths stop distracting you. Envy shrinks in the presence of action. The fifth step is gratitude, not the shallow kind, but the fierce, disciplined kind. Gratitude is the antidote to envy because it forces your eyes back onto your own blessings. When you count what you have, envy has nothing to feed on. You cannot be grateful for your life and resentful of someone else's at the same time. Gratitude shifts you from, "Why don't I have what they have?" to, "Why am I ignoring what I already possess?" You have strengths others would kill for. You have battles you survived that others could not endure. You have lessons people twice your age never learned. You have potential that cannot be measured by someone else's timeline. Gratitude makes envy look foolish. The sixth step is to redefine success. You envy because you adopted someone else's definition of success. Wealth, popularity, aesthetics, validation, these are shallow metrics that do not produce fulfillment. The Stoics taught that success is measured by alignment between your actions and your values, by the strength of your character, not your outcomes, by the life you build internally, not the admiration you collect externally. When success becomes personal, defined by your standards, envy dies, because no one else's path matters anymore. The seventh step is self-respect. Envy thrives in low self-worth. When you don't value yourself, everyone else's success feels like proof of your failure. But when you respect yourself, your efforts, your direction, your growth, someone else's success inspires rather than threatens you. You start seeing proof that something is possible, not proof that you are lacking. The eighth step is to practice the Stoic principle. Wish for others what you wish for yourself, not out of morality, out of strategy. When you can celebrate another person's success sincerely, you no longer feel attacked by it. Their progress becomes motivation, not humiliation. Their victories become evidence, not competition. Their blessings become reminders, not triggers. When you stop treating life like a competition, envy has nowhere left to live. And here is the deepest truth the Stoics understood. Envy cannot survive inside someone who knows their own worth and fate. If you trust your path, you don't resent someone else's. If you trust your timing, you don't fear someone else's progress. If you trust your strength, you don't feel threatened by someone else's talent. When you finally understand that no one is ahead or behind, only different, envy dissolves. The final step, the kill shot, is this. Become so deeply committed to your own growth that comparison becomes irrelevant. When your life has direction, envy becomes distraction. When your heart has purpose, envy becomes noise. When your mind has clarity, envy becomes impossible. You kill envy not by ripping it out, but by starving it. And you starve it by feeding your own life so fully that there is no space left inside you for resentment. That is how you kill envy, not with hatred, but with understanding, discipline, gratitude, and a future so strong it makes comparison unnecessary.